Hey, what's going on? Mathew, Tamin here. I am so glad to have you join me on this live broadcast, live training. We're going to learn about the Helix Ultimate Framework. This is going to show you and walk you through what you need to know in terms of how to use it. So I want to give you a few moments for those that are joining in from all around the world in different parts that will be following along today. You can certainly do so. This is going to be really exciting. And for those that are going to watch this training later on, I know that it's going to be really great as well. So let's go over now and just give people a few more minutes, those that are still tuning in, that are coming in. Make sure that you share this link and you like. Make sure to share and to like. Let's get the likes and the shares up. And I'm really doing this because I get tons of questions from you guys about this particular framework. It is one of the most popular frameworks in Joomla that is used by so many companies to build incredible and amazing websites. So it's really great. So if you're watching this, make sure that you're sharing. Make sure you're sharing. Just give from other platforms that are watching. I'm going to do the best that I can to see some of your questions and respond to them. Okay, so let's give it people a few more minutes. All right, so uh, I'm really excited about this today because, the world is changing so much in terms of web design, right? And there's so many tools out there that you can be able to use to build your website with. And Joomla is one of those. It's one of those that can let you build a solid website. And the best part about it is that the framework itself is free. So what I'm going to show you today is a free framework that you can be able to use to build your website. It costs you nothing. You can download it. Matter of fact, let's go over now here so you can see where you can download it from. So you can go over to their website if you want to follow along. You can go over to this website, joomshaper.com, and we are going to be going over the Helix Ultimate Framework. So you can go on their website to make sure you get this downloaded. You click here, download free. Now I've already done this, and once you go here, you want to click on where it says download. When you download this, there's several packages that's been offered. You have a template, you have the quick start package for Joomla 3, Joomla 4, and then you have the plugin. Now the template, if you already have an existing website that you want to use the framework for, then this is where you're going to download. But we're not downloading the template. We're going to be downloading the Joomla 4, the quick start pack. Now, the reason why we're downloading the Quick Start pack is because it has everything that's needed in there. So if you can go right here, let me show you. So let's go back to the products here. Let's go over to Helix. So when you download, let's go to live preview. When you download it, you're going to get all this right here. So you don't have to build anything. You don't have to work on anything. I'm just going to show you how the framework works in the back end. All the features that it has to offer and how you can be able to customize it. We're also going to take a look at the integration with SP Page Builder. So this is the framework here. So if you're looking to build a website, right, you saying, Mathew, I'm on a tight budget. I want to get my website up and going. I don't really have, any money, or I just don't want to spend money right now. Well, you can download this framework, and this is what is going to you're going to get when it's get installed. So kind of give a run through here, and this are all the pages. So when you get the quick start, you can get all these pages. You have the corporate. It gives you different layout options here, which we're going to take a look at in the back end as well. So this is the corporate one. You can go through the corporate. Now the beautiful thing about this is that you can use any one of these styles, and I'm going to show you in the back end how to tweak and customize these. But you can use any one of these styles here, and I'm just going through it so you can see the different variations and options that you have. And that's one of the beautiful things about the framework, is that it gives you pre-designed templates that you can start from. So that was the corporate, this is the fashion. So if you want to start a fashion site and you need some help, where you can download this and just make some adjustments to this, right? So it's very clean, very easy. And then you have the lifestyle, which is another template pre-made. So they've already created these for you, and you can scroll through there. So this is something you can decide what you want your starting point to be. When we get to the back end, you're going to see what it looks like. And then now they have the seafood. So there's really no reason why you can't have something like this to get started with. You can always customize, you can always tweak later. So there's the seafood layout, and then this is the legacy. This is the original one that they started with, and I've seen a lot of websites that use this particular layout to be able to, as a starting point. And then they have their portfolio. So in essence, what this framework is showing you all the tools that you have available with the website. So when you download it, everything that you see on here, including the photos, the pictures, you have access to that you can be able to change. So if you want to build a portfolio site, this is what it's going to look like. You can use what's already been given to you absolutely free. Again, you don't have to pay anything, right? Once you get this framework, this can be a starting point. You can go work from here. So with this here, they're using another plugin to be able to showcase the portfolio. Go over to gallery. Now, if there are pages on here that you don't want, you can delete those pages that you don't want, and you can keep the ones that you do want. Okay, so you can delete whatever pages that you don't want from here. Let's go over to the about. So it's a great starting point. I wanted to give you an idea of what this looks like, so that way as you continue to work on it, and also you can move pages around. So you don't have to keep all these menu items that you see here. You can move things around. You can disable certain menus that you don't need. You can move them around. You see this badge right here. I'm going to show you how to add badges. So services, contact registration, and then let's take a look at the blog. So if you want to start a blog, you could incorporate this blog page as one of those. And the blog is very simple. It's very clean. It's very neat. We're going to take a look so that you can see how the blog works, right? You have related articles. So if you want to share, create a blog, that's a great way to do that. And then of course you have the menu right here, the side menu, the off canvas menu that you can also work on. And we're going to take a look how that works as well. And then in the final, we have this called the mega menu. With the mega menu, if you wanted to have a menu that has a variety of different items, you can do so here. You can build a solid mega menu from this point right here, and you can customize it, you can tweak it. Now mega menus, you can utilize them, but if you have a starter website, right, if you don't have a lot of content, I don't really recommend or suggest you get a mega menu, because a mega menu is when you have a ton of different things. It just helps you to organize things a little bit more. And then of course you have the social links at the very top here that you can be able to click on and link to your site right here. And then you can change everything. The beautiful thing about it is this. The beautiful thing about this framework is this. Everything that you see on this page can be changed. So if there's something here that you want to alter, you want to remove, you want to add your style to it, you can certainly do so. Even in terms of the graphics, if you wanted to change some of the pictures that you see on here, you can change them. If you wanted to add a video, if you wanted to, whatever that you want to do with the framework, you can customize it. And that's why I tell people that once you understand how to customize this template, right, you can be able to do just about anything. So all of the other templates, let's go back here. Let's go back to their site. This is the framework that they use to build their website with. So all of the templates on their website utilizes this same framework. So all the templates, once you learn how to build this, how to customize this one and how it works, you can buy any template from Joomla and you're going to be able to customize, you're going to be able to tweak. So at the end of this training, you're going to have that knowledge, right? So even if you've never built websites before, you're just getting started, you said, Matthew, I don't know this stuff, you know, I'm going to help you. So the first thing that we want to do now is we want to download it, which I've already downloaded it. So once you've downloaded it, now the next thing that you want to do is you want to go to your web hosting. Okay, let's go back here. Let's go to your server. So you want to have a web hosting server. Now this is something that you can, there are a lot of different web hosting companies out there. Okay, so once you've already created an account with a web hosting company, you can be able to utilize this right here, and you can be able to set up. So this is like a demo account that I set up just to show you guys how this works. So once you've already set up a web hosting and you have what's called a control panel, this is where all the files on your website are going to be stored. All the files are located. So your database, the PHPMyAdmin. I'm not going to go into a lot of technical details in terms of the PHPMyAdmin because that can get a little too techy. So once you've set everything, your hosting company, they're going to give you a login to your cPanel. This is where you get something that looks like this. Or if you don't have a cPanel that looks like this, as long as you have something that looks close to something like this. If you have something that looks close to something like this, then you want to be able to utilize that that same dashboard. The idea is that you want to get access to the same thing. So now that we've done that, let's go over to where it says File Manager. So once you're in your cPanel, you want to go over to File Manager. So let's click on the File Manager. This is where all the files on your website are being stored. So it's important that you're very careful as to who you give access to this information, because if someone get access to this, they can delete all the content on your website, even your backups, unless you have external backups somewhere. So once you get there, you're going to see that you have a structure that looks something like this. You want to go to where it says public_HTML. This is the public section where all the files that people see on the front end, this is where they go. Again, I've just set up multiple demos here just to show you. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to create a folder. Now, if this is going to be, if you want to install Joomla on the root on your root domain, then you don't have to do this step. Then you just do the next step I'm going to show you. But because I already have a website, other test websites that I'm working on as the root of this website, I'm going to create a subfolder, right? So what you want to do is you want to go right here and click on folder. And in this folder, you want to create, I'm just going to call this Joom, you can call it whatever you want to. So I'm going to call this Joom Shaper, right? Or matter of fact, I'll just call it Helix. Helix 2. Now I've created this folder. I'm going to click on create new. This is going to add that folder to your public section of the website. So you're going to get a link for this in a minute. Okay. So we've done that. Now let's locate where we created. So we created this Helix 2. So let's just get and double click on this. So this is where we're going to install the Helix package that we just created. Okay, we downloaded. So if you haven't already downloaded it, matter of fact, let's just go here. If you haven't already done so, you can just go to download free and then click download, and then just click on download the Joomla 4, and then you just go to Helix Ultimate. So now that's been downloaded. I downloaded this before, but I believe it's another computer. So let's go back now to the cPanel, and I want to show you an easy way for you to install Joomla on your website. Now typically, in order for you to install it, you have to use what's called a file transfer protocol, FTP, and you'd upload the files to your FTP, and the file is going to get processed on there. And when it gets processed on there, then you can be able to install it. So in this process, I want to show you an even faster way for you to install Joomla. So let's go back now to the back end here. Okay, so we're going to go back to the back end here, and we're going to, in the directory or the folder that we created, we're going to go to upload. So we're going to upload Joomla on here. So click on select. and then you want to locate wherever you've installed Joomla at. So I'm going to find this right here. Now this is right here. So you want to install the zip package. You don't want to uninstall it. Okay, again, you don't want to uninstall this, the package that you downloaded. So you don't want to unzip it. I'm sorry, unzip. So from there, let's go back here now. Let's click, and you want to click to reload. So once you click reload, it's showing you that it's been uploaded successfully. And then from here, you want to do what's called extract. So you right click and then you click to extract. So this is going to extract the files in this folder here. So click extract files, and you just give it a few seconds or so. It shouldn't take long. Now typically with an FTP, this is going to take, it's a longer process. Now it's showing you here that this are all the files that has been installed here. So this is where you extract it. Now the FTP, this can take, let's say, a few minutes. So close. So now that you've done so, the next thing is, let's go back to your control panel. We want to create a database. We're going to create a database for this. So under the search, you can put in database, and then you just type in, you go to my SQL databases. We want to create a database, so this is where all the files are going to be stored in your database. So from here, I'm going to call this Helix 2, and then create that. You can name your database whatever you want it to be. I'm just naming it Helix 2, but you don't have to name it that. So I've created it, and let's go back now. Now we want to create a new user. So let's go back here, and we are going to create a user. So you can call it, I'm going to call it the same thing. You can name your database and your user something different, but for the sake of this, I'm going to call it the same thing. So I'm going to put in my password. Make sure you put in a password that is pretty strong, and then you can click on create user. So now you've successfully created the user for this. Okay, another thing is you want to copy it down here. Since I'm using the same database name and username, you want to copy this, and you want to store like on a clipboard or something, because you're going to need this later on in order for you to connect your site to it. So once you've done that, let's go back now here. Okay, let's go over here. It says modify databases. So click here. It's going to give you a drop down of all the files, the databases that you have. So we want to locate the Helix 2, and you want to go to, I'm sorry, go down to, yeah, right, okay, this is the right part. I'm sorry. You go to add user to database. So you click on this here, and then you go to Helix 2, or whatever name that you use to create that, and then the database name, whatever database name you use. In our case, we used Helix 2 for both of these. So click add. And then when you says add, again, it's going to show you the user right here, and it's going to show you the database. Again, you want to make sure you copy this. If you have a different user in a different database, copy both of those, because you're going to need that for the next step. And then from you go to all privileges. You click that. It's going to check all those, and you click on make changes. So now there's been successfully given privileges to everything there. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to go to your website. Okay, so in my case, I installed Joomla on a subfolder called Helix 2. So I'm going to go to my domain name, and then I'm going to go to Helix 2. Now, if I install this on the primary folder, then I wouldn't have to do that. I would just go to the name of that website. When you do that, you get this message. It's asking you to install it. So I'm just going to call this Helix 2 Framework, or Helix 2, Helix Ultimate. You can call it whatever you want. And then next, you want to set up your login. Now, I'm not going to go over the multilingual, but I mentioned this in a previous video. With the multilingual, you can choose to install Joomla in any one of these languages. That is one of the beautiful things about it, is that you can choose your native language to build Joomla in, but I'm not going to cover that for this lesson. And it's showing you right here the current version of Joomla, which is 4.2, and then you can click on Set Up Login Data. And then this is where you get to create the username and the password that you want to log in. So I'm just going to call this one Helix 2. And I'm going to call it the same thing again, Helix 2. This is the name that's going to be visible. And you can set up a password. Now you notice I put a password, but it's telling me that the password is not strong enough. It doesn't meet the requirement. So you want to put a password that meets the requirement for this. I'm going to delete this. And now put in a password that meets that requirement. And then you can put in an email address. Email. You can always change this later on, but for the sake of this, I'm just putting this here right now. So once you've successfully put in your site name, your username, this is what you're going to need to log in. So it's important that you remember this information. Just don't put anything. So once you've put that information there and it's been accepted, you want to click on Set Up Database Connection. Now you go to this page. From here, when you click on this drop down, you have several options. You want to leave it at the MySQLi. You don't want to change that. And then make sure this is localhost. If it doesn't say localhost, then you can just type in localhost. And then either a username you create or just provide by. So this is the username that you're going to enter. The ones that I copied before. And then enter a password. So this is going to be a password for the database. It can be the same one you created before, or it can be something else. And then now it's going to ask you for the database name, which is the same one as this, the Helix 2, which we'll create. Now for this prefix, you can just leave that blank. Don't do anything else on there, and you should be good to go. So once you put in your password, and then you put in the password you used when you were creating the database, remember that password, okay? So now I click on Install Joomla. And just give it a moment. It's just going to, do its thing and kind of connecting everything on the back end. Is getting set up, the engine is moving. So now we get this message: congratulations, your Joomla site is ready. So now you're ready to go. Now if you want to install additional languages, you can click here, okay? But I'm not doing additional languages right now. So you have two options. You can open the site, or you can open the administrator. Now if you can choose which one here, but I'm just going to click on open the admin, okay? Just go to open administrator. So I'm going to put in here Helix 2, which is the login I created. So now we've successfully logged in. Now you get this PHP message here. For now, don't worry about this for now, because that'd be another step to show you how to fix this, but it's okay for now. So it's just telling you that the updates is available. You go through, this is your dashboard. Once you get here, this is the admin where you're going to see the like a benchmark of all the tools that you have access to on the back end. You have the users, the articles, the global configurations, which I'm not going to go over that, and the system. Anytime that you have updates, you can see the updates here. You can always click to see what needs to be updated. It is going to show your recent articles, your popular articles, was popular, and you can also add more dashboard on here on this part. So the next thing that you want to do now is you want to go over to where it says Helix Ultimate. This is where you're going to see the front end of the website. So you click on this. If you did everything the right way, then your site should look like this. So now we downloaded it from this site. So let's compare. One of the things you want to do too is you want to compare. Just see how your site looks to how the demo looks, and make sure that everything is good. So this is the demo on their website, right? I'm just going through it, do a quick scan, and I'm going through the demo on the one that I installed. You want to make sure that everything is showing here the right way. So everything looks good. I'm just going, it's the same, no issues, no, nothing is broken. Everything looks exactly the same, which is exactly what you want. So from it, I'm just going to just delete from this site. I'm just going to delete this, so I don't need that anymore. Okay, so now we're here, okay? You have the front end Again, everything looks good. So now let's dive in here, and I want to give you a quick crash course on the back end of Joomla. This is your Joomla dashboard, as I mentioned before. In the content section, this is where you have all your articles, your categories, your fields, your group, your media. So articles in Joomla consider web pages. When I started with Joomla several years ago in 2007, they didn't have page builders back then. So you had to, create web pages with using the articles. And then you have your menus. So this is where all your menus are being created. So anytime that you want to build something else, you want to add a new menu, all the items you see on here, like this drop down and this main menus right here, all of it is being controlled here. So if I click on the main menu, you're going to see that the home, the default, the corporate, so the home, default, corporate, legacy, all of that stuff you see scroll down is showing you right here. Okay, so you can be able to adjust that, and we'll work on the menus later on. And then next, let's click on the components. Components are extra additions to your site. Components are things you want to add, like the Helix, or the SP page builder. It's a component. So think of a component as something that gives your site more features than what comes with the default Joomla. So page builder, SP page builder, which we're going to take a look at in a moment, it gives you more flexibility. So instead of you having to build your website with the content, let me show you here. So let's go back here. So without the page builder, you would have to edit your website. It's going to look very basic like this. This is what you're going to have to work with. It's so basic, right? There's not much you can be able to do. It's very limiting. So now let's go back here. It's very limiting. Let's click on close. It's very limited, but when you add something like a component gives you more features like the SP page builder, which we're going to take a look at to see how that integrate with the Helix framework. So now you can be able to edit your website. You can be able to do so many more things with this here. So that's what a component allows you to do. It gives you more flexibility, add more features to your site than what typically comes with Joomla. And you can add as many components as you want to, but the problem with adding too many is that it can slow down your site. If a developer haven't updated their site, then it can affect how things are shown on your end. Okay, so let me just make this screen bigger now. So let's scroll here, the media. That's for SP page builder. So go over to the users. You can manage users, you can add users, you can create, you can delete, you can set the privacy to let people know who get access to what content. So if you want to build a website where only certain groups of people, a membership website where a specific group of people have access to certain things, you can use the privacy here to determine who get access to what, the capabilities, and all those things. So I'm not going to go over that. And you have the messaging, and then you have your system. In your system, this is where you have your global configurations, your install, your discovery, extensions, the language, the redirects. Again, you want to make sure that whoever you give access to this part of it is someone that you can trust, because someone can come here and they can delete a lot of stuff and cause a lot of damage to your website, and we don't want that. All right, so now let's get started with the fun part, the party. Get started with the Helix framework. So let's click on templates, styles. When you install Joomla, by default, Joomla has just the Cassiopeia, I hope I'm saying that right, template. And you have the Helix Ultimate, which is set as the default. And you set the default by clicking. So if I were to click this and I go to the front end of the site, I'm going to see this one as the default. Okay, but we don't want that. So let's click on the Shaper Helix Ultimate. Once we click on there, we're going to see this right here, template options. We're going to see template options, and you can click on here. Now, before I do that, I want to show you something interesting here. When you see where it says menu assignments, one of the beautiful things about a content management system, not just Joomla, but any content management system, including Joomla, you can select what pages that you want to assign different styles to. So for example, when I showed you the different homepage options, you can assign a different page to different parts of your website. So if you wanted to assign the corporate layout to just specific part of your website, you don't want people to see that, you can do so. If you want to assign the fashion, so let's say you have a membership site and you want to create a different layout, a different look, different design for the members, you can certainly do so here. This is one of the beautiful things about having a content management system, because it allows you the flexibility to be able to assign certain pages with certain design. So now let's go over to template options. When you go to template options, this is where all of the fun things you can do with this framework begin. This is where you can do a lot of, really awesome and amazing things. And before we move forward, I just want you to share this video. I want you to tell someone about it. If you know anyone that wants to build a website, but they feel stuck, they need some help, and they want to do it for free, right? If you know any entrepreneur or business, regardless of the size, that want to build a website and they just want something that's great quality, secure, for free, they can get started with this training. You can share that link and make sure to like and tell someone about it. So now let's jump back here to this training again. So now we're going to go over to the back end. You can change everything that you see on here, literally, right? You can change everything. So one key thing I want to show you here is this. I want you to look at the responsiveness on here. So you have the tablet, you have the mobile, and you can see what they look like. You click on each one, you can kind of get a feel for it, how it looks, and you can scroll through. And then on this left section, you have the basic, presets, layout, menu, typography, blog, custom code, and advanced. We're going to take a look at each one and see how that plays out. What can you do to customize? What can you do to make a change for these right here? So let's go first with the basic. When you start off with the basic, right, the basic allows you to change, for example, if you want to change the logo, you see the logo right here. You can change that from an image, you can do a text. So when you do a text, I'm going to scroll up a little bit. Now it's saying Helix Ultimate. So you can change this text to your company name, whatever that is. So I'm going to put this here right now. And it should change, so I'll just change it to Connect. And I can put a slogan, Connect Now. And the beautiful thing about this is that this happened in real time, right? So I'll put the little slogan, Connect Now. This is happening in real time. So as you're editing your site, you can see what it looks like before you click on save. So if there's something you change you don't have to click on save yet, right? Because when you click on save, the public is going to see this information as well. So let's go back here now to image. And you can choose the logo height, right? If you want to choose that height, you can move this over. Let me move this over. That's the beautiful thing about it. So let's focus on this logo part. So if I wanted, you can add a favicon, right? You can change it to whatever you want it to be. And then you have here, if I want to change the logo height, let me say put in like a 96, right? You're going to notice something. So now the logo height has changed. It's taken up a little more real estate than the previous one because it's set at 96. So you have the flexibility if you want to make your logo bigger or your logo smaller. So let's come back now. We're going to put this back at 36. Again, this is happening in real time. You can change your logo. Let's take a look at the header part. With the header part, it shows you here the different options you have. You can select how you want the header part to look. So let's say that you want a minimal layout. It's set to top bar right now. You can experiment and see which ones that you like. And as you choose here, it's going to show you, you notice, just pay attention to the menu and the header is going to move. It's going to give you the options here. See, as you choose it gives you different ways that you might want to go with. Now again, this is really great because it gives you the flexibility that you can have a different styling for your header. Maybe one of these you like how that looks, so you can experiment and see how it looks on your end, right? So you can experiment with that. So let's just go back now. They have a few options here. You can choose the header height. You can also enable search. When you enable search, let's go back to the top bar here, which is the default, or you can go back with the classic layout. But let's go back to the top bar. So now let me show you something. With the header part, if you want to enable search, you see what happens. Let's scroll up here. You can enable search to give your website the ability for people to search. Once you do that, a search bar is going to show on this section so people can be able to search your site. Do you want to enable login? You can click to enable login. So now you've added login. Now this is a really cool feature with the login, because before you would have to go on the back end and you have to create, add in a module position and all that other stuff. But they've done a fantastic job in that they are allowing you now to with just one click, you can switch between the type of login that you want. You can create a login in the front end. And if you want to create a sticky header, and what a sticky header does is when you scroll up the site, the header is just going to be sticky. Right? So as you scroll up, and move this over here. Let me disable this. So while the stick header is supposed to just stick at the very top over here, I'm not sure why it's not working that way now, but it'll stay at the very top. As you scroll down, then you can be able to see. So let's move over now to the, let's see here, the body. With the body, you can have different preloaders for the body. So you set the preloader and you set the type. Let me move this over so you can see what that looks like. So you can set the type to 2 waves. You see that? Pay attention to this section right here. As I change here, it's going to give you a different preloader. So as I move, it's going to show you something. So it gives you a clock, and then you can choose the preloader. If you want to have a box type, when you choose that box option and disable the preloader, it should be able to give you a box. Maybe it's because I'm in the full screen mode here. So it's probably not doing that because I'm in the full screen mode. So let me just exit off this. So let's try this again now and see if it's going to change. So with the box, okay, so that's not going. So let's just go back into, but typically it'll give you a box mode where it boxes everything for you. Let's go over now to the copyright. So let's say you want to change the copyright. Let's make this bigger. You want to change the copyright at the bottom here. You want to change this where it says Joomla Shaper to your name. You can put designed by, or whatever information you want to put there. So now it's going to change that for you. So you have to scroll back to the bottom and you're going to see that your name. So when you're working on projects for people, you want to change that footer. That's where you can put your company's name right here. And you can also, this the module position. I'm not going to go over module positions right now. You don't want to change this, because if you change this, then it's going to change to a different position on your site. So that's the footer. And you also have this go to the top. You can enable this or you can disable. So when you go to the bottom of the site now, you don't have that go to top. So when you click here, go to top, then you're able to click to go back to the top like that, which it's really cool. So now let's go over to the social icons. Move this down here. With the social icons, you can be able to add or remove the ones that you don't want. So let's scroll here, and the module position is set at module position top 1. Joomla works off of module positions. So with the module position, just don't change that. Don't change the after the feature position. This is where you put in the link to your social profile. So you have Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Dribbble, and so many other ones here. And you can add in a custom one here as well. So this is where you can change any one of these. So let's say if I didn't want the social icons, well, I can just disable it, right? And then it's going to remove those social icons, so I don't have those anymore. And then let's scroll down, and then you want to go over to the contact. So let's put this one back up. Let's go over to the contact info. So this is the contact that you see at the very top, and again, it's position 2. You can put your phone number, you can put in a mobile number, your email address, your hours if you have any, and it's very simple for you to be able to make that change right over here. Now, if you want people to contact you and you want to put that information there, you can certainly do so from the contact information part. And then you have the coming soon. You can enable the coming soon if you're working on something. You can put the title so that people can be able to see what's coming soon. You can change the content. Also, error page. Anytime that there's an error page, you can upload a logo for your particular site and a background image, so it can let people know that there's an error page. Something just basic and simple. So that deals a lot with the basic part. So now, thank you for those of you that is that are watching from all over the world on different platforms that we're streaming through. Make sure that you continue to share this video and you continue to like. Make sure that you're sharing the video and you're liking it, okay? Because I want to help as many of you as possible. I want to make many of you as possible. I want to help as many of you as possible. So I see someone left a comment after SPP Bill 3 to 4 upgrade. Mass, do not try anything else. Well, I wouldn't say that. Like, I've had some issues. I haven't had any issues in terms of the upgrading, so some people experience some issues, but we're going to deal with that later on. So let's get back here to the training. So from here now, let's get back. We want to continue on. Again, make sure you're liking and sharing this video. I want to help as many people to build solid websites as possible. So let's go over now to the preset. The preset or preset colors that you can choose for your website. So you have the predefined presets, and this is going to change based on what you click. So if I click on this color here, notice that the link color is going to change. When I click on the blue, the cyan, or the green, or whatever color, as you choose here, it's going to change. It changes. It changes based on what you're selecting. Now, if you want to do something custom where you want more control, you can do that here. So let's say that you don't want to go with the predefined presets and you want to build your own. Well, you can go to the top bar and you can choose the color that you want. You can go to the header. You can go to the menu. So based on your style, maybe you want to do something a little bit more creative. It gives you the flexibility here to change all those things. So I want you to just feel free now to just play with the colors, the text color, the hover color. You can play with the colors and see what you come up with. Again, this is based on your specific taste for the footer part as well. Right now, the footer part, you see it's dark, right? The background color is black, but you can change that to, let's just change this to something like this, right? So it gives you, now if you go to the footer part, you've changed it to a different shade color right here. And you can experiment and put whatever color type that you want for this. So that gives you a lot of flexibility. You can change the link colors too as well for this. Let me just go back to the original, just the black here. So that's how you change the presets. So if I disable that, now I get access to the presets again. So let's go back to the preset 1. The next part that I want to take a look at is the layout. The layout options, you can build amazing layout with this thing. Now, when you're creating a website, layouts play a very key role because layout gives your site that distinction. It gives your site a different look. It makes your site looks different. So what we're going to take a look at now in the layout part is you're going to see how you can be able to add different sections. You can delete, you can move things around, you can drag, you can drop, you can hide things on different parts of the site. So let's go now with the layout here. And we're going to start it from the very top. This is the page title. Okay, the page title. So let me just come out from this full screen here. So this is the page title. Let me see if I can show you an example of the page title here. So you see where it says about. This is the page title section. So if you wanted to make any changes on the Helix on this page section here, you can enable it or you can disable it. So let's go with something here. First, with the layout, you can move things around. If I can move this down, I can move it up. So you can drag any item here in any part of the website that you want. So you can drag something up, you can drag it down, you can move it around. So let's go over to this now. You click the layout builder. You see here you have different options in terms of how it's going to look. So right now what this is saying is taking a span of 12. Okay, and this is based off of Twitter Bootstrap 5. So 12 meaning that is the max number that you can have in any span. So the numbers have to total 12. It doesn't matter the combination you have, but it has to total 12 in order for you to use it. So 6 plus 6, 4 plus 4 plus 4, whatever combination that you use, or you can create your own combination. The bottom line is that it has to equal to the number 12. Now let's go over to the options. With the options, you can change the title. The title is pretty much just is for you to know what that section is about. Now I'm not going to go over the custom CSS class and everything here, but you can create several classes for that. You can make this full width. Let's go over to the style. You can add patterns, you can add margins, you can even change the text color. So if you wanted to change the text color for this part right here, you can change what text color that is. So let's say I wanted to change the link, the background color. You can also have some fun with the background color. So let's just see how that looks. So let's get that red, and then we'll click save, and then let's see what it looks like now on this part. So let's go back over here to the option, over here to the style, and somehow it's not going through now. Maybe I have to update, but you can change this blue to whatever color that you want it to be. Oops, let me put this back here. You can change this blue to whatever color you want it to be for that row. And let's go to responsiveness. Now responsiveness, you can hide items on different parts of the site. So if you wanted to hide, let's say this here on the mobile phone, the title part, well, you can do that. You can click hide on phone. You can hide it on any device that you don't want it to show. And then you click on apply, and then that should be able to, let me go back here. That should be able to show how whatever changes that you made on the front end. Okay, maybe I have to clear my cache or something. Sometimes if you have a cache that's shown there. So that's how you can change the row options. And then next, let's go over to, you can pretty much, once you're able to customize any one of these, you can do the same thing for any one of them. So if you notice you have 3 dots, you click on those dots. You can make that a component area. I don't want to go too much into that. You can look at the grid options in terms of how it shows on different gadgets for the desktop, the tablet, smartphones. You can choose the responsiveness where it shows and where it doesn't show. So again, if you want to create a new layout, you click here, and then you choose the type that you want, right? So you can use the layout builder, and you can choose here. So the layout builder gives you a lot of room to be able to just add as many layouts as you need to. But since I don't need this section here, I'm just going to delete it. So everything you're seeing right, you have the page title, you have the main body, you have the bottom, you have the footer. So it's broken up into several sections here. The main body is all of this content that you see right here. And then of course the footer. So if I delete the footer, it's going to delete this part. So now let's move over to the menu. The menu builder allows you to create new menus. You can edit what's currently there. So when you go on the site, this is the menu that you have right now. This all the different menu items, right? You see the default, and you can drag in this menu anywhere else. So let's say you wanted to move this default menu. Well, you can drag it to there. So now it's going to show you where the menu is. So if you come over, let me move this over. So if you put your mouse over here, sorry, can't see that yet. So you put your mouse, now you see the default. It's no longer at the very top, but it's number 3. So you can drag and drop and move different menu items wherever you want them to be. So let's say that you wanted to move the blog a little bit closer to the home. Well, you just have to, you can find that blog, right? So this is the blog right here. You can also connect the blog to as a sub menu. So now I've made the blog that's no longer available as the primary. So if I go to pages, then I can see the blog that I moved around. And if I want the blog to be its own standalone, I can do that as well. So now the blog is a standalone. So let's move the blog up, and we're going to put the blog up next to the home. So you see right there, the blog is next to the home. So it gives you the option to be able to move the navigation wherever you want it to be. And you can click on edit. Now this is another cool feature that I love. When you click on edit, typically you would have to go on the back end of Joomla. Let me show you guys something here. So let's go back on the back end. So usually in order for you to edit the menu, you'd have to go back to the back end of Joomla, go to menus, locate where that particular menu is if you wanted to change an item. But what they've done is they've simplified the menu process for you. So instead of you having to go to the back end, you can do whatever you need to do on the front end while you're working on the site. Now this saves you a lot of time. So you can choose where you want to link this to, the type of menu item you want, the link type, the page display. So you don't have to go on the back end anymore while you're working on this, which is a major plus, because there's several times that I used to create a site and then I have to go to the back end to add a menu, to remove it, to change it, but I don't have to do that anymore. So with this now, you can just kind of drag and drop things wherever you want them to go. And then you can click on that cog there and it can show you, do you want this to be a mega menu? So you can build mega menus. So let's go back here to this here, and we want to be able to click on the front end. So let's say that we want to make this blog. You see this mega menu here? Well, you can do this a similar thing with this blog. I just want to show you here. So let's go back now to the back end, and let's say we want to build a mega menu with this blog. Okay, so we'll click on this third icon, the mega menu icon, and then it gives you, you want to make sure that you have this mega menu that's enabled. Once you do that, it's going to expand more, and you can choose to show menu item title. You can choose icon, the alignment. If you want, you can choose the custom class. You can put the badge. So I talked the badges earlier on. So if I want this badge for the blog, I can add a badge. So I'm going to put this, let me see, what badge do I want to put there? So I'm going to put this, just say badge. Matter of fact, just put cool. Alright, so I can choose the direction that the badge go on, the left or the right. I'm going to put it to, I'll leave it at the left. And I can choose the background color, and I can also choose the text color here, right? So let me click on the background badge. So I can just choose that here. So that's the background. And I can click to add a new row. If I wanted to, I can click here to add a new row. Now when I click here, it's asking me what I want to do. Let me just kind of make this here like that. So now I have my real estate. So it's asking me what layout options do I want for this new menu. So I can choose 66444 or 333. So I'm just going to choose, let's just go with just 444 for now. So once you do that, you have the option of adding different items to this row here, this column. Okay. I could also update it if I wanted to. So let's click to add let's add insert. You can insert a company. You can insert just about anything here. Okay, you can insert a module on the back end. So if I wanted to incorporate photos, for example, I'll just put photos for now. There's the photo module. So whatever photos that are showing have been uploaded in the back end, they're going to show on the front end. So I can click the next one. I want to install, let's say, information or latest articles. I can do that. And I'm just doing it just to demonstrate to you so you can see what you can add on that mega menu. So right now the background color is red or orange. I can make the text, just white. And I can make the width is 600 pixels. I could expand the width, and I can add as many different mega menu. I can build a huge mega menu from this. So I'm going to click on save, right? So now when you look at the blog, you notice that we just created cool. Let me move this over here. So with the blog, we just created the badge cool, and you see the photos, the latest articles, the company, and we just built a mega menu just like that. So that's one of the great things about it, is that it gives you so much flexibility to build awesome mega menus. Of course, you can always add more items to this mega menu if you want to. And you can drag this to be a sub menu of another menu, right? So as you drag it here, let me show you. So for example, let's say right now, if you go under, let's say for the home, if I wanted this, let me move this over here. If I wanted to have this to be a sub menu, I could always drag this to where it says legacy. If I drag it there, now when I come here, you're going to see that under legacy, so let me move this over here. So you're going to see that where I drag this menu at, it's a sub menu. So I'll put my mouse over here, and I go to legacy. Now you see the block. Before, it was located at the very top. Now this is really great because you can easily move things around where you want them to be. So if I want to put it back in its original spot right next to home, I'll just click on it and I'll just drag it and I put it right there, and it's right back where it started. So the mega menu gives you a lot of options, right? It gives you so much flexibility in terms of what you can do. Then you have the off canvas. So the off canvas menu shows you where you can put the off canvas to be. Right now it's at the left. You can do that, put it in the left border. You can put it right there. You can move it over to the right. So now you see the off canvas menu. This is it right here. Now I want you to watch, right? It's centered aligned. So as I change this here, it's going to change when I click on the off canvas. It's left bordered. Now if I click on the left align and I click on here again, you notice that it's left aligned. So this is really cool if you want to control the position of your off canvas. You don't have to have it to the left only, or you can choose the left or the right or position that you have it at. So again, thanks so much, guys, for for those that are still watching here and those that are going to watch this later on. Please make sure you continue to share, you continue to like, share this, share it with your friends, anyone that wants to build a website that needs some help. This is going to show them, how to get going, how to build solid websites using the Helix framework, and it's absolutely free. So make sure that you continue to share this. So let's get back to the training here. So next we want to take a look at the typography. This is with the text. This has to deal with the text. You can change different fonts. They have so many fonts that you can go with. So as you scroll down here, you can choose the font weight. You can choose the font size. You can choose the font colors. You can choose any type of decoration that you want for this. You can choose the alignment. So this is the heading. All the items on your website that has this heading, you can choose the font type for. When you click on here, you can choose any font type that you want. You can scroll down. You can also choose for the heading too. So anything that has heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, you can choose the type of font style that you want for this heading. You can choose, go through here, and now let's take a look at the blog. So when you go to the front end, this is what the blog looks like. You can do some customization to the blog. You can have a smaller thumbnail size. You can set the thumbnail size. You can have a large, however dimension that you want to set it here. You can choose the quality. Now, the crop quality, this pretty much determine, you know, the speed of the site in terms of the images. Sometimes when you upload certain images, if they're not optimized for the web, if you have an image that's, let's say it's like 5 megabytes or so, or that's too large, right? So you want to make sure that the optimization for it is not slowing down the site. And then you have the list option here for the thumbnail. So this is going to show you can change how these show up here. Let's click for this one, for example, and let's see what we can customize. And then you can go to the details. So let's say that I didn't want the social shares to be on, this is social shares, right? If I didn't want that to be on here, all I can do is just click on to disable the social share, and I click on save, and that should disable and remove the social icons here if I didn't want those. So it's pretty much, you know, based on what you want. If you want to enable the author information, you can do that. If you want the real-time, the reading progress bar, let's see what that looks like. So you click on there and you click on save, and then you should be able to have that reading progress bar. I think you should be able to have the progress bar. Okay, so the progress bar, you can see at the very top, you know, as you scroll down, it's showing you the progress of the reading. So you scroll down, scroll up, it shows you, you know, how much of it you've completed. So that's something cool to be able to have. And you can have the open graph. You can change the background color if you want. You can change the height. You can change the heading where it says, right now it says related articles here. Well, if you don't want that to say related articles, let's say we can change that to read this next, right? So I just changed from related articles, and I can say read this next. And let's click on save, and we're going to see, so now it says read this next. So you can customize what shows on there. And let's see here. And you can choose the size of the block detail, the image, if you wanted something big, something small, something large. You have a lot of control over this here. You can choose the pixel height. You can choose the number of columns that this particular block you have. So right now it's showing 3. If you want it to be 2, if you want it to be whatever size, you can choose that from the blogging section. So the blog is easy for you to manage. And also, if you want comments for your blogs, right now the comments have been disabled. But if you want to add comments, you would have to click here, and you have to set up an account with one of these. So once you set up an account, you assign it to this particular blog, then it's going to show. So if you have discuss, you can do that. You can choose also intense debate. You can also choose Facebook, right? You put in your Facebook ID, and then once you save it, the comments, people can be able to leave comments on the front end right here. And then let's go over now to the custom code. Now this is where if you had to put in anything from Google, you can put in your custom code. When you go to get certain codes, they'll let you know where on the site that they want you to put that information on. So you can scroll down, any CSS, any JavaScript, if you wanted to do that, you can add that on there. And then you have here, let me make this full screen again just for a moment. So you have here the advanced. With the advanced, you can do some compression. You can click here to learn a little bit more. And then you have the SCSS, the font settings. If you wanted to update the font, you need the Google API. It gives you a link here. You can go to get the API key and then put it on here, and then you click to update the font. And then also with the images, you can have lazy load. One key thing too is you click on next to it, it shows you, give you a little more information what that's about. And then import export, you have the analytics. You can incorporate your Google Analytics with this right here. So let's drag down. So as you can see so far, it's a pretty simple system that you can use, right? It's pretty simple, and the goal of this is it helps you to be able to build a website simple. There's so many of you that you think that building a website, maybe you've had a bad experience, right? And you're saying, Mathew, can I do this? Is this going to work? Well, it definitely can. And I've just showed you some of the things that you can do with this. Now, we want to take a look at the SP Page Builder part of this. How can you incorporate SP Page Builder with this? So now we're going to take a look at using Page Builder and how it works with it. So let's go back here. So now let's go to the back end, and we're going to take a quick look at SP Page. Now I'm not going to do a lot with SP Page Builder because I have another training that I do more extensively for this. But let's go to Components, let's go to SP Page Builder, and let's go to Pages. So we're going to activate it on the front end. So let's say I wanted to work on the default. I click front end editor, and from here I have to log in. So I'm not logged in yet. Alright, make sure I know what that login is. So let me log into the front end. I think that's what my login is. Okay, so now I've just logged into the front end, and because we're using the free version, the pro features have been locked. A lot of these pro features here have been locked, and I'm not able to get access to them. But in essence, you can pretty much edit anything on here just by dragging and dropping. You can scroll through, you can click to edit different parts. But I would recommend that you buy the pro version of it, because when you get the pro version, then you're able to get access to all these other add-ons that you don't have access to. So you can build something really amazing with these two combinations. So even now, when you go to the front end here, you can utilize the power of that. So once you activate Page Builder, you're going to notice that you have this edit page. So you can kind of do a combo where while you have Helix on, right, you can have both of them on at the same time, so you kind of see how things look. So while you work on the Page Builder, you can click to edit different things. And that's another great thing about this, is that you have both of them working together. This is really great, because when you have both of these, you can utilize Helix and Page Builder at the same time. This gives you so much more control, and you see how things look, how things work, and you're able to make whatever adjustment that's needed for this. So now you can change the title, right? You can change this here. You can scroll over. So I just want to thank those of you that, that watch this, and those that are going to watch this later on, that want to build a website. I also provide one-on-one training specifically for your site. So if you're looking to build a site and you need training that's pertaining to your type of, business, I can, help you with that. So you just go to the website, MathewTamin.com. There's a section where you can be able to get a booking, so we can kind of go over your stuff, walk you through, teach you whatever you need to know, kind of help with your website, because websites are vital, right? You need to have a solid professional website. Your presence online matters a lot, especially now. So you have a quality website with a quality presence, then you're able to attract a certain type of people. I always tell people this: you want to attract the right type of people for your business. It's so important that you have a website that attracts the right type of people. So when you take time and you build something that's quality, people can tell. They can tell. So for those that are going to watch this later on, make sure that you continue to share this video. Make sure that you continue to like it. I hope that you've learned something today, and I know that you're going to use what you've learned right now to continue working on your business. Continue doing something on there. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions or you need more support, just go to MathewTamin.com and book a session there, and I'll be glad to go over things with you. So even if you're an entrepreneur, you're a small business, medium size, this works for all business sizes. So I look forward to working with you one day. Have a good day. God bless.